Whew, the first ever playoff game that goes into overtime at TechCU Arena, and the Barracuda are victorious. We will break down this game. We will talk about round one of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. We'll talk about the preview of round two of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Gushin, overtime winner. Oh, baby. Let's get it going right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark, presenting the Barracuda After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks, if they were in the playoffs, Barracuda post-game show. So if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow Cuda fans all over Cuda country on the YouTube page and the app. Follow us on the socials. We've been gifting the games on Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky, and of course find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the pod, please do so. We appreciate it at Venmo on at tealtownusa, or if you're watching us live, you can hit us up with the super chat. Oh, Jules, what's
Hi.
up, my friend?
Hi.
Oh,
Hi. We were actually going to go live for overtime, but
it ended so quickly.
it ended so fast that we just didn't. I mean, whenever we doubt this team, they seem to just come right back and say a big F you.
Oh boy. Wow. I mean, honestly, there's this, but what a night for hockey. I mean, we'll get into the NHL a little bit, but we will, as typical fashion on a Sunday night show, we will talk about the game that took place that you just saw, most of you, as the San Jose Barracuda took on the Colorado Eagles for Game 2 of the Pacific semifinals. I mean, Jules, you were there. I thought it was a little surprising. Kevin was blowing up our texts and tweets saying that this place, that the building was way louder than it was for
I mean, Friday
Game
was
1.
loud.
The score didn't help things.
Yeah, the score didn't help things. The minute I left, they played better. So, the Cuda, I think, have been outscored like 13 to 2 when I'm there. So,
This just in, Jules has been banned from TechCU
No, yeah,
Arena.
I've been banned from TechCU Arena, and from tequila.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, look, they had to win this game, right? I think,
Yeah.
I don't think the Cuda were gonna pull a reverse sweep per se. And I told Puckguy, in my opinion, if they won tonight's game, I think they have a very good shot at winning the series, because you drain a lot of momentum when you win a game like this. You drain a lot of momentum from the Eagles.
And the other thing too, and Kevin mentioned this the other night, and I think also Nick did as well, was it'd be nice. It would have been nice to win the first game ever at TechCU Arena. However, now you have momentum. If you're going to win a game, now you have momentum going to Colorado,
Yeah,
which is nice.
I mean, the Cuda have honestly not played horribly. The first game was they started off just gripping their sticks way too tight, and then I think they got better as the game went on. But they've scored. They're a threat shorthanded. The Cuda are ridiculous. I think they're arguably more dangerous at times shorthanded than they are on their own power play.
We'll get to that. Oh man. That power play.
Honestly, at one point I told Puckguy, can a team reject a power play? Because it was just honestly, they're more of a threat on the shorthanded right now on the PK than they are on their actual power play. So
yeah, and it seemed like more than anything shorthanded. But the thing is that Colorado, I think got away with a few penalties.
I mean, you had
few shenanigans, say on game one.
Ian said, you had to decapitate someone to get a call.
Right. That seems like appropriate for both games that happened tonight. Oh my gosh. But they get on there. I'm looking at the scoring sheet. A minute 31, they had a penalty, and that's where I thought they dominated the first period. They definitely kept the Eagles hemmed in their own zone. I mean, they didn't score anything, but I mean,
they came out with like vengeance after game 1. Like they came out and they you could tell they wanted it. Yes, the power play were messy at times. We'll get to that. But like I like the way they started the game compared to how they started the other game, like game 1.
I see, and I didn't think it was that bad of a start there either. I mean, I think it was like 12-6 in the shots, but it definitely seemed like Colorado got on their got on their edge and really dominated early on and take force of the game and take care of the nerves that I think the Cuda were showing.
Yeah.
Tonight seemed a little like, all right, we have control of it from the Cuda.
And they did. Like they outshot them, what was it, like 10-2 there for a bit, or 10-4, whatever the shots were at that time. Like they played well. Like besides the power play, this team is actually playing pretty darn well, right? Like we can all
Right.
like shorthanded, they're a threat. Yes, they gave up 2 goals in the first game on the power play. Yes, I'm aware, but like tonight their PK was pretty good. Patrick Giles is just a revelation to this Cuda team, it feels like. Like anytime he's on the ice, something's happening. You know what I mean? And he's what, their third line center right now?
Yeah.
Colin White, I think Lacey said got her, but he came back. He had 2 apples today, if I'm not mistaken. Like, and the thing is, they still don't have their MVP, Porter
Yeah.
House.
Although, I mean, Shing reported that he skated with gear on, so who knows if he's trying to get
If
into the
they can
lineup.
just survive until Porterowski comes back, they're gonna make a run. That's my theory. They just have to survive it, right? You have to survive until you get Porterowski back. Let's say they somehow make it past this series, right? And if they get Porterowski back, that's a huge add for this team because defensively they have everyone that they're gonna have, right? If they get Bordalo back, that'll be also a great addition, right? Because
Right,
they're
and that's
winning
the
the
big thing too.
closer games right now, right? They're playing more. They're winning closer games. They're not really right now going to be able to. I mean, they might, but yeah, they're doing this without their MVP, which is again, I will holler that to the moon. That is impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like Ian is saying in the chat, Musty was awesome tonight. Quentin Musty came in, and I completely agree with Ian. I think he delivered a spark for the team that was kind of needed after game 1. I really liked how he played. Like, yes, he's didn't get on the point totals or whatnot. But I really liked how he played tonight. So I agree.
Yes.
I was a little shocked they didn't go with Chernyshov, but
It,
Musty did prove me wrong.
yeah, no, and I think all of us were expecting Chernyshov to draw into the lineup since he had a little more game time experience, but you go
They
with
went
your
with the
gut,
right guy.
J-Mac. Yeah, J-Mac, kudos to you, dude. I mean, that was great. And Ian also making a good point here. Skating with gear and skating with contact are 2 very different things, and that's huge.
Yeah,
I'm almost
survive.
certain it's upper
Yeah,
body before him, but
just survive until if they can survive until he comes back. Once he comes back, it's a great feeling, right?
right.
We'll see if he does come back. Right? There's a world where the Cuda get eliminated, and I'm just went on a tangent for nothing. But you know, hi
That's
Ian,
part
by
of
the
our
way.
show. Yes, Ian, have a good night. We miss you, bud. Sorry you can't be on here. You got to go to bed too. I know. So
We'll see you
that.
tomorrow, bud.
Yep. Yes. Early promo. 4 p.m. Monday. Live
Yeah.
reaction to the draft lottery. That'll be
Hey,
interesting.
I gotta match my reaction from last year, which was also really good reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
That
But
was
you gotta be late again, Puck Guy.
no, no, no.
So if we
Uh,
lose, it's on Puck Guy.
fuck you. All right. Anyways, let's get back to the game. Second period comes. Cuda end up with a double minor power play. I mean, it sucks because it's like you keep getting these chances. I thought they got a few more pucks to the night, to the net, not to the night, but
You're doing
to the
great.
net tonight. Not easy for me to say. Yeah, you know what you're doing, Eric. And then they get another power play from John Ludwig, and just nothing would happen. And then of course, what happens, Jules? The Cuda.
Colorado. Oh, they're going
Yeah,
Colorado.
no, get 1-0. I just Jules,
That was
that
yeah.
sucked because you see all the chances the Cuda had, and
So,
then
well, here's my question to you. So, out of these two games, right, taking away power play goals and taking away empty net goals, how many goals have the Cuda actually allowed 5-on-5 in their like whole playoff like run, right? How many goals were actually 5-on-5 goals that the Cuda allowed? I'm getting somewhere, I promise. Was it like one? Because they lost that game 4-3. 2 were on the power play. Okay, maybe 2 in their whole 4-game series currently, right? Like you see the point that I'm trying to make here, right? If the
absolutely
Cuda stay out of the box, 1, and 2 don't get themselves down a bajillion goals,
right.
they've only allowed 2 5-on-5 goals in 4 games. Last I checked, that's quite good.
That might be good.
Like they have Askarov, they have the pieces there. You can't take dumb penalties. Now, to be fair, towards the end of the game, you had to decapitate someone to get to get called on a penalty, so they got saved there. But you see my point that I'm making? Like they what?
Yeah.
Maybe it was 3 power play goals. I don't remember. Someone can yell at me if I'm wrong. But anyways, sorry.
But I mean, no, and it just seems like they just couldn't get to it, and it's like, oh, these power plays are not working out. The Cuda would take another penalty. It would be where is it? It would be it was Luca Cagnoni would take a cross-checking call, and that would set up. No, not another Colorado Eagles power play goal. No, oh no, Pavel Regenda. That's Remenda with the G because he is good.
As they have allowed 5-on-5. Think about
So,
that.
so I'm
Please,
guessing.
like, what? Just, anyways, keep going.
Yeah, I'm guessing. In chat, tell me I'm wrong. If I play a video clip, you do not hear us. Let us know in the chat there.
Oh, they didn't hear that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I
Did you
didn't
guys
hear
hear my
you.
amazing stat or no?
No, go ahead and say it again
Okay.
because
So the Cuda again in this, at least in this series, have scored the same amount of goals shorthanded as they have allowed 5-on-5. Like you see my point that I'm trying to make here. Like I'm not losing my mind. Yes, special teams do win games. Yes, and you're 100% correct. But I'm also saying stay out of the box.
yeah, stay out of box is a pretty big one.
Like you
Indeed.
can score shorthanded. Great. Please do continue doing that. But also maybe don't take as many penalties as you have been taking. That's all.
Thanks, gang. I'll have to kill the clips then for the time being. But so a little bit of dead air there. All right. So the game is tied 1-1. We go into the third period. I mean, both of us were thinking, oh, this is going into overtime.
I literally told you we need to go live during overtime.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, we'll get this set up and everything. We'll go from there once we get it going. But the third period, you had Cagnoni take a delay a game call. You had Sabarin.
It was just penalties.
That was a little meh for the goaltender interference. It's like, oh, you know better to do that, but you made contact, so it's going to go into the box.
Yeah.
But no scoring after that, and then you go into overtime, and
Look at this.
what are we doing?
No, look, the seals are clapping. I think we're all clapping right now, but look, like I told I this, I said, and I'll say this again on live air. The Cuda win this game. I think they have a very good chance of winning the series just because that type of OT win will swing momentum in a team's favor drastically. Not saying they're going to win the series. They're still the 1 seed. Let's not get way too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
But look, like good on the Cuda. They didn't take advantage of their power plays at all. And then when it mattered most, they took advantage of it, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a PP. I wasn't losing my mind. So
And
They
what
sc-
did you think of that call at the end of regulation as
I was
Gushing had
shocked
stripped
they
that?
called it. I'm gonna be honest. Compared to the shit they didn't call, I thought that was a wee bit out of whack. I honestly, when I saw them blow that, I genuinely for a moment thought they might have called Gushin on a dive.
Oh,
My
jeez.
brain immediately went there a little. But look, like it was a trip, right? Was I shocked they called it? Yes, because in my opinion, you had to decapitate someone to get a call. But hey, Cuda better be well behaved next game. That's all I'll say to that. But we should talk about the goal that Colorado almost scored that had to get reviewed.
Yes. So what did you think of that one? Because I
I
mean there
thought they
weren't too many.
scored.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was so inconclusive that I couldn't really tell. Like it's hard. No angle that showed on that replay showed the puck anywhere in the net. My concern was Askarov got it stuck in his pads and went backwards into the net. That was my
Right.
concern. Um, yeah, and I thought they scored personally, so I was a little shocked when it was called no goal. But I understand not having conclusive enough evidence to you know say that.
Right.
I kind of agree with you, Dank. Yeah, like I thought they scored. I said it on our Discord, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like my concern there was because he was shaking his pad after, and he was shaking like his leg pad. So I thought it got stuck in his leg pad, and then he backed it up, and then it went in and crossed the line. But I don't think they had conclusive enough evidence to prove that. So
Yeah.
I think the Cuda got really lucky there.
Yeah. Yeah. But indeed they did. Seek and Destroy. I've only been to two good games. What's the story? A story on the crowd arm wiggle. Oh, you mean this one? Oh, that's their usual. That's the classic goal celebration when they had their original goal celebration. But they were celebrating because
What
not
happened?
not even a minute of overtime will
Oh,
let Nick Nolenberger and Drew Minda have the call.
Colin Graf.
Both teams have given up shorthanded looks on multiple occasions in this game. Gushin's over the line.
Oh,
Got
you
it for
can hear.
Graf. Back for Gushin. Working in backhand save made by Meyer. They score! It pinballed its way through the 5-hole.
Wait a fucking.
We are heading back to Colorado, tied at 1-1.
I love how you can hear me say "way to fucking go" on that. By the way,
Yeah,
that's really funny. Thanks for that, bud.
you're welcome.
Um,
But OT game-winning goal.
Kevin, come join us when you get home, bud.
Yep. Send him the link if you can.
Oh, do I need to send him the link?
Yeah, if you can send it to him, that'd
Yeah,
be
I got
cool.
it.
But
Kevin, I'm DMing you the link, buddy.
yep. But huge. Yeah, and I'm also positive that Gushin scored the winner. Yes, it went off the was it the stick of Chris Wagner? I think he slammed his stick, which kind of proved it a little bit. So that's a game.
Really did.
Yeah, so that's a game-winning goal for the Cuda. Win
Can I just
2-1.
say something? Can I give
That's
a
what you're
shout out
supposed
to
to be on.
Colin? Well, I know I'm supposed to say smart things. That doesn't happen often, but I want to shout out to Colin Graf. He's gotten he has either had an assist or scored on the two most important Cuda goals of the playoffs at the moment. Now I know it's in playoffs, but still, shout out Colin Graf. You're awesome, buddy. I love you. And yes, that should go to Gushin, but I believe Graf should get an assist on it.
I'm looking
Because
at
then my point
the
has been disproven, and that's really
yes.
sad.
So the official scoring line is Gushin, his first from Colin Graf and Colin White at 27 seconds on the power play. And this series is tied 1-1. Yes, they need to win 2 out of 3 to advance to the next round. But I mean, man, oh man, what a game, what a win. I
And
can
hopefully
only
TechCU sees more playoff hockey.
yes. So the next 3 are in Loveland, Colorado, the home of the Eagles. So you're looking at Tuesday and Wednesday. So back-to-back nights for games 3 and 4. And because this game went to the Cuda, The series is tied, which means a game 4 is now required. So if I'm not mistaken, let me see, I think I have it on here. Believe I do not. But what is Tiger saying? Go ahead and tell me what.
He's asking Kevin if he wore his lucky turtleneck.
We will
that
find
reminds
out
me of
in
a
little
funny
bit.
story, but I'll save that for later.
Yeah. So we'll see. They have an off day tomorrow, travel day, and then we go from there. I mean, Jules' overall reaction to this: Askarov with 27 saves. Let's not forget about that.
Listen, look, they are playing the 1 seed. Like, we can't forget that. Like, the Eagles are the 1 seed for a reason, right? And they don't have their MVP. So going into this series, I kind of thought they were gonna not do as well as they are doing. I was kind of expecting the first game, but you know what I mean? Like, good on the Cuda. Like, this is what we wanted, right? We wanted the young kids to show who they are and, to have playoff experience, and they're getting that, right? Musty looked great tonight. Askarov's been amazing during these playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Colin Graffs looked great. Like, the kids are showing up. Like, Luca Cagnoni, yes, he's had his off moments, has been wonderful. Oh my God, who's the other guy? Like, Giles has been a revelation, and I think could arguably, we'll see where he fits in for future. Philip Beasted's been a revelation, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, he had that shorthanded goal. Had a number of shorthanded chances.
He's been ridiculous
these 2
shorthanded,
games.
also. Like,
Yep.
so. Yes, he had his moments at the end there of that game 1 where you got to be quicker in your decision making there, but like, it's nice to see the kids. It's nice to see the kids do well, right? And they have the veterans to support them, right? Colin White's been great. Scott Sabrin got to control his temper, but other than that, I've really loved what he's been. Right?
Got to be careful because, I mean, he did
shooting the puck at someone once they're down was stupid. I think he did it on accident, though. I don't think that was but it's also Scott Sabrin, so I'll leave that up to the audience.
And that's the big thing too,
Tiger making a really good point. Colorado's arena is daunting, and Askarov is going to love it. Did you see Askarov's little jump?
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, and I agree with Tiger. The Cuda don't win without Luca Cagnoni.
No, he is. There's a reason why Colorado kept going after him.
Like crazy. Like, they went after him anytime they could hit that kid, they're hitting that kid. Like, and also we saw how they looked like without him in the lineup with the rain, right? We all remember that when Luca went out there, was out for a bit. And Askarov looks confident he could steal the series. Askarov can 100% steal a series.
Yeah, he had that hiccup. I mean, allowed 4.
Hiccups, but besides that hiccup, he's been solid.
Yeah.
2 or fewer, right? Like,
Brody, if you're watching,
Brody. We'll see tomorrow, bud. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Who's there? Yeah, like, Askarov can 100% steal a series, and if the Cuda keeps scoring more shorthanded, like, basically scoring shorthanded goals, it feels kind of at will right now. They'll be fine, right? Like, they have only allowed 2 5-on-5 goals this series, and so
it's nice to have it. They just need to be careful with their penalties. That's the big thing. Is stay out of the penalty box. Don't give them the chances. Let them take the penalty. Now, my point here is, though, you need to cash in on those. And yes,
you gotta cash in.
I mean, you get the game winning goal on the power play, but you went 1 for 6 tonight. Tough one to take. So we'll see here. We're kind of stalling for Kevin Lacey, actually, to be honest. Crafty Koala, we'll get to that in a little bit, but what time is the lottery? 4 p.m. on Monday will be the time. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later on the show, but be here, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Jules and I, along with Ian, will be giving you live coverage from San Jose and all over North America, for that matter, as the ping pong balls are shown live for the first time for that.
And now we have a little toy where we can see the chances live also. Thank you, Puckpedia, for that. So
Yes.
Jules will be visibly stressed tomorrow. Stay tuned for that.
She won't be freaking out at all. Right. Okay.
Oh, you should have seen me at the overtime winner. As we're stalling for Kevin, did you see Giles's insane move shorthanded?
Oh, that was nice.
That was disgusting.
Yes. Yes.
So, Puckguy, how cooks your bracket?
Oh, my bracket is cooked. I don't even want to look at it. I was going to
picked
say
the
it was
Avs to win the cup, so
same.
oopsie daisy.
Yeah, that was
My
not
bad.
fun. That was not fun. So we'll kind of do that right now, while we wait, and then we'll scale back to the Cuda to hear about it. We'll begin in the East here, where Toronto somehow survived and got past Ottawa in 6. Florida made quick
Quick
easing and work of Tampa Bay in 5 games, so they've been resting a little bit. Washington took down Montreal in 5, although I think you can credit Montreal for giving all they could. And then Carolina, kind of made New Jersey mincemeat in my mind in 5 games there. So you have Toronto, Florida, Washington, Carolina. Your thoughts, Jules?
Oh God. So which team I don't pick is naturally going to win this? Look, I don't see Toronto beating Florida, so I'll have Florida in 6. And I don't see I love the Caps. They've been interesting, but I think Carolina takes care of it in like 5 or 6 probably.
Interesting.
Before Toronto fans come at me, this is a good sign I'm not picking you, so don't worry.
Well, in order for my bracket to completely implode would be for Florida, which is why I'm picking Toronto to win in 7. And
I think I have Toronto making the Eastern Conference Final, so I probably should have picked them. But whatever.
Well, too late now. Nice job. It's broadcasted all over the world now. Carolina. I think they can handle it. I mean, unless there's issues with goaltending for the Hurricanes, which I think. Well, what did Ian say? Freddie Anderson,
right?
Freddie Anderson's scheduled injury does it all. So we'll be on there with that. So we are. So that's how I look at it. The East. I mean, anything that sticks out, or any reason why you're going Florida and Carolina?
Honestly, Florida, I've just learned not to bet against them. Because they made way too easy work of Tampa. I'm sorry. Like, Tampa should have not, you know what I mean? Like, that was just way too easy for them. So I think Tampa's a better team than Toronto is arguably. So I just see them taking it. And in regards to Carolina, look, like, honestly, I still feel like I have Carolina making the Cup Finals. If their goaltending holds up and isn't made of actual glass that breaks every time you touch it, they're a good enough team to make the Cup Final, right?
Right.
I think they should beat the Caps. Naturally, the Caps are going to win in like 5, and naturally, I'm going to look like an idiot.
There's always that moment where Carolina just comes back to
there's always that
ground earth.
There's always that moment where they just fall apart.
Yeah.
Right? So
we shall see in that one. Over in the West, and I had to make 2 graphics for this because it's just crazy.
You have Colorado.
Oh no, that sucks. Colorado didn't win. Oh, I must have made this like midway through the 3rd period. Colorado, Dallas, and Vegas and and Edmonton. What did you think of
Oh my God. Okay.
of Game 7, Colorado Dallas? I mean, not to just say, hey, Winnipeg, St. Louis, hold our beer.
Okay, so real quick, both of these, just hold on. Okay, so both of these game 7s were forking atrociously funny to me. And not like funny, they were immensely chaotic. First of all. Second of all, Dallas probably is going to steamroll Winnipeg. Like, I'm just being Connor Hellebuck is Connor Hellebuck. A little fraudy, let's just say that. I think Mikko Rantanen's on a revenge tour of the ages right now, and he really wants to play Carolina in the Cup Finals.
Right.
And what's the other series? Edmonton, Vegas? I don't know. Like, couldn't tell you. That's like it depends how Connor McJesus and Calvin Pickard and Leon Draisaitl play, right? If Calvin Pickard continues to be 5-0 in the playoffs, they'll be great. They'll be fine. If they play like they did the first 2 games against LA, it's going to be a very quick work for Vegas, right?
Right.
And Aiden Hill's been a little on and off. So, like, couldn't tell you. Like, I probably picked.
Don't say. Aiden Hill's been a little on and off. Huh.
I mean, that glove side, man. Oof. I'd probably pick Edmonton in 7. So naturally, Vegas in 4. I think Vegas has the better blue line. Vegas has the better goalie. But Edmonton has McJesus and Leon Draisaitl. And those two can win you a series. So.
Yeah, how long does the Calvin Pickard momentum train go? I mean, it remains to be seen. But
well, I mean, look, like they apparently play better when their asses are on the line. So maybe the trick for Edmonton is get down 2-0 early and then make a miraculous comeback.
Oh, I still that challenge by Jim Hiller changed that series.
That was the dumbest challenge on God's green planet Earth. Like, I don't understand it still because 1, it was already reviewed if it was a goal or not. 2, that wasn't goalie interference. That never was goalie interference. And I know goalie interference doesn't know what goalie interference is in the NHL.
You right.
But that was still a dumb challenge because you basically, if you lose that, you give Edmonton a free goal. So.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Kudos to Minnesota for making it interesting. I thought they were on the verge.
That offsides call just drained them.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. Like, once that got called back, I kind of knew they were cooked because, again, momentum just swings in the
right.
favor, right? We'll have a few people on here in a few from what I'm reading.
Yes, we will. Apparently, waiting. We're going to get 2 more people to jump on who were witness to that overtime win at TechCU Arena tonight. So we'll be on the lookout for that. We're kind of waiting for them to jump on when they can. But
no, and also the Kings are weird.
What do the Kings do now? I mean,
I don't know. I've seen a lot of different things regarding the Kings, right? Like, I think they rushed their rebuild a bit, right? Because they got Byfield in that, and then who else did they get in their like rebuild? Clark.
I love Brant Clark though.
They got another guy, but like, I don't know. It feels like they rushed their rebuild a bit, and now they're just kind of like. This is where like the whole argument of like, do you tear it down completely or do you kind of leave your like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But they, like Pat's saying, they probably just run it back. They should fire their coach. And
he just got there.
You know who's available? Who I think would be a good fit for the Kings? Puckguy.
Yes.
You know who's available? Who would be a good fit for the Kings?
Who would that be?
Jay Woodcroft.
Oh God. Oh, the irony if Woodcroft were to follow Todd McClellan's footsteps.
I'm just saying that'd be so funny. Turquoise.
Oh.
Okay, thanks, AJ. AJ, hop on. No, I think Jay Woodcroft or
Oh, I'm thinking he's probably saying Torts.
Torts is going to Pittsburgh, and I'm not convinced otherwise.
Oh, you think Pittsburgh? I'm thinking Philly.
Listen. No. He was already in Philly. Torts.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Talkett. Excuse me.
Oh, Talk is going to Philly, but
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, what is Torts known best for? Besides being a drama queen, what is Torts known best for?
You tell me.
Squeezing, like Steve Dangle has said, squeezing blood out of a stone that's absolutely dead, right? What is Pittsburgh? Dead, first of all. Need of a rebuild, avoiding a rebuild. Give me John Tortorella. I'll make you good for 2 more seasons, and then we'll have a very bad breakup. Boom, solves your problem.
Or does he do that in Boston? Because that seems like a kind of a yeah. No, why?
Because Boston, I don't
squeeze
think
out whatever
anything
they
else
can
out. I don't think you can squeeze anything else out of Boston. I think you can squeeze out more out of Pittsburgh than Boston. And let me tell you why. Pittsburgh has Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
And Chris
and
Letang and Eric. Sure, pasta, but I would rather get Crosby and Letang and Malkin. No, people are disagreeing with me.
Let's see.
Oh, is that rumor dead? Oh, well. Anyways, I still want Torts to Pittsburgh. I want that drama, so.
And Pat saying has more to give.
Sure, maybe I just hate Boston. I don't know. I just feel like if you have Crosby, you can never doubt Crosby.
Well, there goes ever talking to Mike Greer. If you hate Boston, jeez.
I don't hate. Oh my god.
So someone has a Boston University hat.
Oh, McAvoy and Pittsburgh hiring Carl. No, if Carl's going anywhere, he would have gone to Chicago.
And he turned that down.
Or the Ducks.
I'm wondering where Coach Q is going to go.
Probably the Ducks. Honestly, the Ducks also scream Woodcroft to me.
Does he hide? I say this because of the media exposure, but I mean, does he hide in Anaheim? And the reason why I say that is he's buddies with Anaheim's GM, Pat Verbeek. They played together in Hartford. You kind of wonder, So, we have a friend joining us. First off, it's great to see a turtleneck, number one. And number two, let's hear how your voice is, my friend.
It's actually doing better than after game one, I think. I think I got a little more dialed into playoff noise. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'm on like plan D trying to get on this show here, and so I'm trying to figure out how. All right, I guess I'll stand right here. So anyway,
that works.
Hey everybody, I'm sure you have very much covered the game thoroughly, but I'm here now. So,
and with that, good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks for having me. Shout out to Chris at TechCU Arena tonight for stopping by and saying hi. Fan of the show, friend of the show. So thanks for saying hello, Chris. Like I say every time I'm on here, if you're going to a Barracuda game, feel free to spot me and say hi. I was watching that Jets Blues game during second intermission. Oh my.
Man, oh man, what a crazy game. And even Aaron Jack saying the Winnipeg comeback was crazy. I mean, you go if
Game
you're
7 on drugs.
Right? You go from 2 goals down. You're already seeing people, upset and everything in the arena. The arena was quiet. I mean, 1.6 seconds left and Perfetti tips it home. Just mind-boggling. And I believe they credited it to Lowry for the game-winning goal in double overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct.
That was something else indeed.
Nothing like playoff overtime, folks. I mean, we saw it tonight here at the Barracuda game as well. So
so tell us what it was like. I know you sent out some texts and tweets that the game 2 crowd was definitely a little bit louder.
For the most part, it was. I will say that there were, I don't know if deader periods of time is the right term for that. But yeah, like in the second period, it did get a little bit quieter. But I think it was more just crowd was focused in and on what was happening, because definitely there were higher points and higher marks from the crowd tonight. It was a fantastic playoff atmosphere. It reminded me actually of back at SAP Center when the Barracuda played there, and they were getting 6,000 fans in. It felt like true San Jose playoff hockey tonight at TechCU Arena, and so yeah, it was awesome. And the team, I thought the team played fine. I think that the word I used was decent for game one on our post game show then. But yeah, they played lights out tonight. It's gonna take efforts like what the Barracuda gave tonight in order to down this tough Colorado Eagles team. And so I really hope we see the same kind of performance in game 3, especially because I do worry about the back-to-back situation going up against the number 1 seed on Tuesday and Wednesday. But so far, so good. It was such a fabulous night.
Gotcha. I mean, Jules, you got anything right now?
Dude, listen, like we've been on a playoff rampage. No, look, like as I said, like I think if the Cuda can win the first back-to-back, I'll feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, just going into that atmosphere, but I also have a thought feeling that Askarov's just going to decide a brick wall and say, "You shall not pass to everything."
I thought he was great tonight.
Again, he wants to face his former team. Now I think they're down actually right now in their series.
They're down 2-0. So that's the first
maybe
time that Milwaukee has lost back-to-back games the entire season. And what a time in fact, I think the same thing happened at last year's Calder Cup playoffs. I think Milwaukee hadn't lost back-to-back games and went down 2-0 in this series as well.
I'm just saying, if they somehow make a comeback, I'm sure Askey wants to face them if they get that far. But look, I think Askey's going to have to seal the series. And if he can, that's awesome. And I think Quentin Musty was a great addition tonight.
He was. I saw Ian posted earlier. Has Ian gone to bed at this point?
Yeah, he has.
Okay. All right. Well, I saw Ian tweeted earlier tonight that, that was the type of game that Musty needs to bring. And he definitely looked more comfortable. We hope for a little more offense, obviously, out of him. But he made some plays tonight that I thought were really, really smart plays. They didn't turn out, but just players not being in position. So as long as he keeps his head up a little bit more, you could see the talent and skill and the thought process is definitely there for Quentin Musty. So
I'm shocked they didn't go Chernyshov though. I thought it would be Chernyshov.
I am too. I think it's probably because Musty plays a heavier game than Chernyshov, and that's why. It was good to see Walker Dewar back in the game, back in the lineup. Somehow, Eric, it completely escaped me what I was talking about. I think I would take Houle out of the lineup, and that entire show I'm going, why is Houle in the lineup? And I finally realized this morning Walker Dewar was out. So Dewar drew in, but Ethan Cardwell came out, and that's unfortunate. That's a little
that's
disheartening.
Yeah.
I'm curious if he gets back in next game, or they keep the same lineup, or what do they do? Because they do need a little bit of an offensive punch right now. Like, you know what I mean? So
Certainly.
I'm curious what they do.
Certainly.
Maybe they bring in Chernyshov and see what he like. Again, I don't want to I don't think they should tinker too much per se with the lineup after this type of a win, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. A lot of comments in the chat for Cuda goaltending for the future. Obviously, Matt Davis.
Carrier.
If I can jump in on Matt Davis real quickly, because I haven't been able to get the tweet out. Games 1 and 2, I know this could simply be an announcing error, but Matt Davis was announced as a healthy scratch for both games. So even though there has been no transaction that I'm aware of, that would mean Matt Davis is under an amateur tryout if that's the case. So theoretically, he could be available if necessary, but he'd basically be the e-bug or the third goaltender because there's no way that if Askarov does come out of a game, it's Carrier's net. But
For sure, 100%. Davis
And
would be
then
the backup. But I would think Davis takes the net with Carrier next year, right? Like that's the
100%.
unless they sign
100%.
Aaron
Yeah.
Dell for the 1800th time. But like,
Yeah. But happy
bring back
birthday, Aaron
Dell.
Dell.
Yeah, happy birthday. No, sorry, Aaron Dell. Happy birthday. Have a wonderful birthday. But also, you might come back to the Sharks knowing our luck. So,
hey, he could be the automatic e-bug, and we wouldn't be complaining too bad about it. If Urbe can be a backup goaltender for Buffalo, I'm just saying. Just saying. I remember that too well. I'm just lost for words because of just two great overtime games tonight with Winnipeg and St. Louis, but then Cuda and Eagles. What? I mean, this is the first time that they're hosting playoff games here. What kind of atmosphere have you seen through the two games, and what needs to be stepped up a little bit more? I know you talked about the music the other day, and I think that changed tonight with a different DJ.
No, it was
not
the
to get
same
onto
DJ.
that.
It was the same DJ who continued to play music over the crowd chants and even over Frenzy's drum, because apparently it's hard to recognize crowd noise. But yeah.
Okay. But I mean, just the atmosphere there, because I mean, definitely at times felt like a mini Shark Tank to me.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure. Well, I mean, I think even aesthetically, it looks like a mini Shark Tank, just with much nicer seating. So it's oh yeah, it's great. If I were to say anything, I still think that the sound quality could improve, and that's basically because of the type of ceiling that is installed in the. It's just like SAP Center, so the noise kind of bounces off the ceiling more than anything, and causes a huge reverberation. But it doesn't stop the crowd from making as much noise as possible, and it was a great time. I mean, I even saw AJ there during warm up tonight. He had a big old smile on his face, and that was before the game. So.
yes.
AJ, what's up, man?
To be fair, I thought it was at a Sharks game. That's why I was smiling.
Oh, God. But I mean, right on cue. Great segue, Kevin. Good job. You know how to hit those all the time. I always get jealous when Ian does that. But okay. AJ, I mean, you were there too. Welcome to you, good sir. Welcome. How was it? And you were in Fireball Cove tonight too.
Yeah, and there was a lot of us in that middle table going, why is Chernyshov not playing tonight?
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about in game one, Kevin, but you think it's a better one to go with Musty, or do you expect Chernyshov to maybe get in one of these two games?
It really depends on the health of the team. I mean, I do think that Chernyshov has a little bit more natural scoring ability than Musty does at this stage. Or at this present time, but Musty being a bigger body and being mustier, I really think that plays into that, because Colorado plays a very heavy game, and if you want to go into their zone, you will pay the price. We saw it with Pavel Regenda a number of times tonight. I mean, that guy was a freaking bull in a china shop when he could be.
Such a nice ad for the Cuda. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but he's been such a nice ad for the Cuda. It
is absolutely a beyond fair statement. I love Pavel Regenda. I was a little disappointed with how he played during game one, so he really bounced back tonight, and he got the goal. But I mean, he can play in all three zones, and dude's a beast. So and he's trying to earn a contract for next season too. So. It's been really great to see him pick up the team on his shoulders. I mentioned it during the Ontario series about how Pavel Regenda, time and time again in the World Championships and also in the Olympics for Slovakia, was one of their best players. And that was when he was only like 20, 21 years old. So the guy knows how to perform in big time situations.
So, Kevin, I got to ask you this because I saw one of your tweets. You love Patrick Giles.
do love Patrick Giles. So that's another one. So basically, those are the two 25-year-olds that are really, really trying to earn contracts. Patrick Giles is just fantastic.
On the PK is insane.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I
Maybe
mean, that was
because
his bread
he
and
is
butter.
too.
We talked about it when the Sharks acquired him. Like he knows what he's doing out there. I think he's actually showing more speed and more offensive. The dangle, guys.
The dangle was
the shorthanded
insane.
dangle where I couldn't believe the number of connections he made. It's too bad he couldn't finish that off. Otherwise, that would have been goal of the year probably in the whole organization.
Yeah. That dangle was disgusting. Whatever he did there shorthanded was gross.
Was that on your end, AJ, or was that on the or on Kevin's end?
No, I just got it. All I heard was something about like, how awesome it was when you could pull 25-year-olds. And I was like, yeah, I remember.
Oh my God.
But yes, that was on my end. So he was dipsy doodling through. I don't know which defenseman it was.
I love the fact that, only 3 goals scored tonight, but every one of them special teams, bitches.
Jules, what was that stat again before?
Yeah, they've scored 2 shorthanded goals, and they've also only allowed 2 goals 5v5 this series.
Just crazy.
That's just a ridiculous stat in my head. The Cuda have also been really good shorthanded. You should stop taking penalties. Yes, please actually stop taking penalties. It really my nervous system hates you. But also when you have guys like Giles, Beestead, Graf who can make like that on the PK, it's awesome, right?
Look at the penalty killers. We're talking those names you mentioned: Graf, Beestead, Regenda, who got the goal tonight, Colin White, who has I think 3 shorthanded goals in the regular season this year. Podorowski was a great penalty killer when he was in the lineup. So this team really knows how to spring the other way.
Yeah.
It was fun. Because, dude, the Cove was a blast tonight. And I think a lot was the fact that we got through the first period and didn't allow a goal. Yay! I think that was a lot of it. And then even when they gave up, Callie got the first one, and it was just kind of like, hey, it was on the power play. We still got a half a game to go. It's all good. And then, Pavel gets it, and you're just like, all right, a minute and a half left. All right, we're gonna pull this out in the third. And then Mother Nature said, no, you're not. And we had to go to OT for it. And I will tell you, during that whole stretch is when double overtime, Winnipeg won it, and the Fireball Cove went crazy, and everybody looked around and went, why are they losing their minds? The Zamboni is going in a circle right now. I don't understand why they're going crazy. But we're all going crazy for the Jets. The fact that, 1.6 seconds left, we're all going ape shit 2 different times. But yeah, Gucci getting that so early into the OT. And you know what the really funny thing is? Just on a personal note, I think it was about maybe about 8 minutes left in the third period. All the bars, all the food and bev closed down.
Shut down. Yeah.
They shut it all down. And I was with some, a couple buddies in the Fireball Cove. And I was like, I know how to work this system. I'm going to take the elevator up to Calder's, and I will get a tray of beers from there, and I'll bring it back down. And they were like, you do you, man. You can do it. And so during the segue into overtime, I have to wait for the elevator, get up there. There's a little bit of a line, wait for the line, get what was one of the coolest beers names I've ever had. It's called Pop-Up Headlights. Okay.
What?
It's called Pop-Up Headlights. I don't know why. A very good IPA. And then even tonight, I'm having a little bit of the Loco.
We'll get to that in a little bit later on. Yeah. Yes.
But I grab a tray of the Pop-Up Headlights, bring it down to all my friends that are sitting in the middle table in the Fireball Cove. And it's like, okay, I got you guys. because they took care of me earlier. It's okay, I'll get you because all these, all the concessions shut down. And everybody, we all go to, okay, we all have our drinks. All right, let's hear it for overtime. Cheers. And then right at that point, fucking Gushin scores, and we're like, fuck.
Well, I want to ask you about that. So was there a pretty hefty line at Calder's during that intermission?
Not huge, like 10 people, because I don't know that a lot of people know how to game the system, if you know what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Because the crew that I sit with in section 217, a couple of the big mainstays and noisemakers missed that whole 30 seconds, 27 seconds of overtime.
Oh, no.
Where I was going, where are Will and Dennis? And they were nowhere to be seen. And then they finally showed up about a minute after Gushin scored the game winner with full beers in hand, mind you. And I was like, well, guess you're going to be celebrating post-game, watching the Zambonis hit the ice one more time.
Lacey, I'm thinking whoever those people were, they were behind me in line.
Oh, man. That's funny. That's good stuff. I'm glad you guys jumped on to share some stories here, because that's fun. And okay, now we know how that works. We have some quotes coming in.
One of them's really funny.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know what was really fun is watching the guy push around the cart at Calder's and also at the Fireball Cove that has to take that ridiculously awesome ice sculpture that has 2025 Calder play. He's got to sit there and like lift it up, put it in the thing, and he's like, "This is very cold." It is kind of dripping a little.
McCarthy on Musty's AHL playoff debut, as we were talking about Musty just earlier, important part of our organization, and wanted to expose him to a playoff game. I thought he responded well. He used his size, has an ability to finish, which was the thinking behind putting him in.
Now, what did you guys think about Chernyshov not getting a start tonight?
Well, when Kevin was,
I got to tell you, in the Fireball Cove, we were a little tilted.
I mean, Kevin, you and I went back and forth about Chernyshov jumping into this game for. Why am I blanking on the name? Help me out, Kev.
Musty, Chernyshov.
Chernyshov going in for, I think, for
Hardwell?
Hool. For
Yeah.
Hool.
Yeah, but Hool's injured, isn't he?
No, I think he was.
I sent you guys the screen capture of the video board
with the 100 scratches.
Yeah, with the 100,000.
Well, I'm glad they did that, because they did not do that for game one with all the scratches. So
there's just like a list of like about a whole roster. Like you can roster a whole team. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Because it's my
Your top
tradition to post that screenshot of all the scratch. I actually saw all the Eagle scratches outside of the building afterwards, and they look like a giant mob.
41 and 47. I'm like, who the fuck are those guys?
That Berglund is a guy we got in the Jake Wallman trade, and 47 is
sure. If you say so.
It's right, AJ. I know what I'm talking about. Axel Landon's a prospect, buddy.
I'm not saying you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying I'm like looking at somebody's name or something. I'm Matt Davis. Who the fuck that guy?
That's
that's the guy who won 2 national championships and went to the Final Four, the Frozen Four this year. But
as a ancillary fan, like Podorowski, know him. Chernyshov, yes. LaRock, Dell, absolutely. And then I see Davis, who? Berglund, who? Landon, who? Then Cardwell, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, Furlong, oh, totally rooting for that guy. Brandon Coe, absolutely. Guriev, nice try. Fuck, dude's totally injured. And then I'm like, Gormley, and I'm like, wasn't he in the TV show Wednesday or something? Like the last couple named 92, 93, 94. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? But whatever.
Axel Landon just came over from Sweden. I don't think we'll see him in the playoffs. I think he made it at the end of one regular season game or something like that. But he'll be a part of it next year for sure.
All right. And shout out to it was funny bullshitting with a couple of people in the Fireball Cove, and we were getting kind of loud going, Barracuda. We were getting kind of obnoxious, and a couple people walk over and they're like, "You sound like that AJ guy in Teal Town." I'm like, "I think that's because I am that guy." They're like, "Dude, love the cast. You and Eric and everybody. You guys are awesome." And I was like, "Okay, we all have a drink then." So it was fantastic. So it's always fun to go to these games and somebody comes up and like says they appreciate what we do. It's fantastic.
Yep. No, absolutely. I mean,
even when they go, that Ian guy.
Oh, come on.
Be nice.
All right.
No, it's usually me, not Ian.
So the Cuda win 2-1, series side 1-1.
Next three in Colorado, right?
Yes, and a back-to-back. Game 3 Tuesday, Game 4 Wednesday, and then if it forces a Game 5, not till next Sunday.
Yay! Yippee!
But all three of the next ones are in Colorado, no matter what, right?
Yep.
Oh my God! Can we see the Barracuda do the same thing like the first round? Like, can they play the 3 where the Avalanche play? I would call it the Pepsi Center, but I forget what they call it now.
Oh, Ball Arena.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're going to play at the Eagles place, bud.
I know.
They're in Loveland.
But it would be so much more fun to play.
Well, I still think that the series against Ontario flipped on its axis because it was not being played in front of 9,000 people in Ontario and being played in front of 900 people in Los Angeles. So,
well, I mean, when Ian and I talked about it, that was my whole thing. Was I said I'm going to give the Cuda a chance in this because for whatever reason, the Barracuda have done well against Ontario when they're in Ontario, when they're in SoCal. I don't know why, but it's worked out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see listen, it's going to be a tough series. Like, it's going to be tough for the Cuda no matter what. Like, this isn't going to be easy. I think
getting a win tonight against the best team.
Yeah, no, it's big, right? It's huge.
Huge.
And the best part, and Kevin, like we mentioned on postgame Game 1, nice to have the momentum going to Colorado.
Yeah.
As opposed to, yes, it would have been great to win the first game in San Jose, but now you have a little bit of momentum heading over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Any time that you are the underdog and you're needing to go steal a game over in the other team's barn, as long as you can carry momentum going into that scenario, I think that's a lot more important than starting off the series strong. And again, I think the Barracuda played fine in Game 1, but they played great in Game 2, and they can carry that over into Games 3, 4, and potentially 5. But yeah, especially knowing that Colorado was the number 1 team in the AHL at home, winning 26 out of 36 games this season. So,
how rude to say Game 4. Come on, the Cuda are going to get it done in Game 4.
Oh,
you mean Game 5?
No. They only need 4 games to get it done. Come on.
So you're saying they're going to win the 2 games?
The next 2 games. Next 2 games. Come on.
Is that your bold prediction, AJ?
Did I say that out loud?
What will be interesting to see is how McCarthy deploys his lineup with the back-to-backs. Now that we do see a little bit of fluidity with Cardwell coming out, and Dewar was out in Game 1, and Poole was out tonight. See Musty come in. Maybe Musty plays one game and Chernyshov plays the other. Hopefully Cardwell comes back. And then I know I did see a quote about McCarthy saying never say never about Bordeleau and Podorowski. I still think Podorowski's injury is going to keep him out of the series, but when it's do or die, he's one of the leaders of this team and the MVP of the league. So I heard that Podorowski was in attendance tonight and looked like the most nervous player in the entire building.
If it goes to Game 5, if Potsy is 80%, you put him in.
I think Potsy will be about 40% Game 5, but he still might make it in anyway.
Jesus.
Well, so here's a question, right? If Potsy, hypothetically speaking, is, let's say Kevin's 40, right? does McCarthy just put him in because it's do or die and they're playing the 1 seed and Potsy at 40% is better than no Potsy?
I can see it. I think it depends on how he does, how he feels that morning skate.
Yeah.
Maybe he can grab Gabriel Landeskog's other knee.
Line again?
Did you say grab Gabriel Landeskog? What?
Yeah, I said maybe he can grab Gabriel Landeskog's other knee so that he can finish out the series.
Oh, jeez. A couple quotes before we start getting close to the end here. McCarthy says they'll discuss Bordeleau and Podorowski's health, whether they'll travel to Colorado. He didn't rule them out from travel and says they're both possible to come back against the Eagles. We'll see.
If we're being honest, do we really think Bordeleau is going to make an appearance in this series?
Probably not.
Thank you.
I mean, okay, I don't know his injury, but I don't even think Potsy's really going to make an appearance, right? Like based off their injuries.
I think Potsy has a better chance of making an appearance than Bordeleau.
Everyone just thinks I hate Thomas Bordeleau, so there's that. Anyways,
well, it's because you do. That's fine.
Kevin, would that be more accurate? Would you see more potentially coming into any of the 2, maybe 3 games in Colorado? Would it be more so Bordeleau versus
I would say yes, just because we don't know what the heck's going on with Bordeleau. We know Podorowski has a serious injury.
Yeah.
So I think there is more likelihood of Bordeleau coming back sooner than Podorowski. But the fact that McCarthy said neither of them might make the trip, that does kind of sound like whatever happened to Bordeleau there with the Sharks is a significant injury.
Yeah.
Barracuda have been prepping for Colorado altitude. It is a short turnaround. They fly tomorrow, back-to-back games, as you mentioned.
Let me ask you guys.
Wait.
Hang on. Let me finish this. Jimmy Schultz saying how he's been prepping beet juice, get there, move around a bit, and taking the right supplements.
Beet juice,
hey,
love it.
I
had to stop speaking because of beet juice.
Well, I'm just trying to finish the quote here, AJ, as to what they've been using. So go ahead.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Sort of. All right. So let me ask 3 of you guys. We obviously have a split in San Jose, the next 3 in Colorado. I'm going to start with you, Eric. Let's just say Barracuda lose the next 2. They're done. It's over. On to the next round. Does that even mean that McCarthy might perhaps see a pink flip?
I think it depends on how they play. If they lose, if they get blown out, maybe you start thinking about it. But if it's close and they lose like overtime games, both games, I mean, I think it would be tough.
All right, Lace?
Well, for one, I kind of want to josh you just because you said no, Barracuda in 4. So what are we even talking about? But yeah, it remains to be seen. I haven't seen enough from the coaching staff to give them a bill of good faith going in beyond this season. And I think I can speak for Ian on that as well, who's obviously departed for the evening. But both of us kind of feel the same way about the coaching staff. I mean, McCarthy, great dude, but please use a timeout when you got one.
Avoid them like the plague.
The one thing I will say about the coaching staff, though, is that I have become more and more impressed with Kyle Hagel this year. And I know I talked about loving the fire that he had on the bench during the only timeout I think McCarthy has ever called in his 3 years as head coach. But maybe that's why I've never seen the fire out of Kyle Hagel, because he's never had an opportunity. But having one of the league's top power plays, that is on his watch. And so he has been able to get this team offensively where they need to be this year. It's more the defense that I do have worries about. So we'll see. It is really nice to see that this staff did help guide this team to the second round, and the lineup changes are going to say a lot about their continued tenure.
All right, Jules, your take on McCarthy's.
Again, it depends what happens. Like, if the Cuda make it past the Eagles, I don't think they're getting fired no matter what happens in the next round, unless McCarthy has like a full-on blowout, like, and they just get blown out every game of the next round. But I also think there's a guy named Dan Bilesma just sitting around, and Puckguy and I have this.
He take that demotion.
I don't see him getting an NHL job.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying what I think. Like, I think if McCarthy, if Mike Greer was not, McCarthy wasn't a Mike Greer hire, and I'm not saying Mike Greer has his guys or whatnot, but he kind of does. Let's be real here. I'm just saying, depending on what happens, and like Puckguy says, is if it's 2 blowouts, I can easily see McCarthy getting the door. But if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd go and hire a guy with experience with Coachella, who's played with Jimmy Schultz, who's coached Jimmy Schultz and Andrew Portorowski, and all those guys.
Doug Waite in the organization, Todd Marchant in the organization,
Yep.
Kelly Buchberger coming out of coaching retirement to coach the Barracuda next season.
Yeah.
Oil.
A couple things that I heard in what you were saying, I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
And Doug Waite has coaching experience too, right, Kevin? He was the Islanders head coach for a bit.
Yeah, but that would be a demotion. He's the director of player development.
And that's
or
the
whatever,
whole thing.
So.
You talk about something like that where it's the ancillary people, the people on the outer rims sit there and go, "Oh, it's not a demotion at all," or whatever. No. It's do the people inside the group. Is that, are they going to consider that a demotion? And that's the big thing.
Yeah, it really depends on, if a guy like Doug Waite or whoever, Todd Marchant, it depends on where do they want to go moving forward. I mean, I think Doug Waite has certainly put in his time at the NHL level to have earned the position that he has now with the Sharks. So I think they would probably want to bring in someone from the outside to be their coach next year. Again, this is all in theory, depending on how far the Bears go in the playoffs this year. But I don't see Waite sliding into that role.
Gotcha.
And let's be honest, I think over this week, it's really gonna be one or the other. The Barracuda are gonna run this shit out and they're gonna win it in 5. Or the
4.
Eagles are going to 4?
Yeah. If they win Tuesday and Wednesday, the Cuda win the series.
Yeah, so
Best of 5.
yeah, but I don't see the Barracuda is best of 5, and I don't. Right now, it's 1-1, right?
Yep.
I don't see the Barracuda winning 2 straight. I see Colorado 2 straight before I see. But my point being is that I think either Colorado is going to win this in 4 or Barracuda will win this in 5. And so let's see how that works. But my point is, if the Barracuda, like right now, let's be honest, what was the final score Friday night? Like 5-3 or something?
6-3 after 2 empty netters.
Yeah. So, wasn't the best. Cuda, obviously, they put some goals up, but yikes. But then tonight, very tight defensively. I liked what I saw from the team. It's like no goals in the first. Also, not a lot of shots on goal in the first. But I liked what I saw. But it was still the fact of, oh boy, this could really go either way. So my point being, if the Eagles beat the living shit out of the Cuda in the next 2 games and take the series and do it in an embarrassing fashion, I'm sitting here going, if I'd be a little tilted as a Cuda and Sharks fan if McCarthy doesn't see a fucking pink slip by the end of the month. Because I feel like he has had more than enough time to get his shit together and you can't blame it on lack of talent because he had some solid talent this year.
Indeed.
In my opinion. I mean, Lacey, did he not have like maybe the most talent he's ever had?
McCarthy, absolutely.
Yeah.
This team is, we got to remember, the last 2 seasons, the Barracuda finished 32nd and 31st in the league. So to be in a playoff position this year, yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there going, if he can't like at least get beyond the first round, and I feel like most of us on this cast have been kind of like it seemed like going with McCarthy was basically an excuse to save money.
Probably. But
we shall see.
We're here in the playoffs now. So
hey, and if they win the next 2 games, I'll fucking eat every word that I just said.
Okay. Kevin, I know you're losing your battery, so I will let you go, my friend.
All right.
Thank you very much for checking in.
Absolutely. Final thoughts are through 4 games of the playoffs so far, we've had 4 different officiating crews, and none of them know how to make penalty calls. In fact, the crew in game 3 had to start asking Kirsten Welsh, the lines person, what was happening behind the play, because apparently the second ref, that's not their job anymore. And we saw more of that tonight. But that's an easy gripe to make. I'm glad the Barracuda were able to prevail. What a game. What an atmosphere tonight. So thanks for having me, guys. And we'll see you at Calder's on Tuesday night.
Yep. Viewing party there.
Let me just share a bit of news here. The Barracuda will travel to Loveland, Colorado tomorrow, but they will not hold media availability tomorrow. Just letting you know.
All right. That's fair. And focus on there, and probably get to prep for altitude too.
Yeah, perhaps. So. But Tuesday at 10 a.m. our time, Pacific, that is when they will have a morning skate followed by media availability. So, that's when you start looking at whether it's Shang or Max or Pashelka or the Eagles media, 10 o'clock Tuesday morning. Don't look for a whole lot tomorrow. It's travel.
Yeah. Nope. Indeed. All right. Couple of things before we get out of here. Obviously, many who saw on social media the skating incident the skate that caught William Eklund. Good news is that he has posted on Instagram a couple of times saying everything is fine. He will be back soon. Scary incident indeed, because you just worry with the skate that it could really do some damage to it. So hopefully he will be okay, and hopefully he's on the road to recovery already. But that's got to be a scary thing, especially how he looked like he was in absolute awful pain.
Can I just say that I thought that whole thing was like a perfect example of the best and yet the worst of social media. And when I say the best, it's the best that Eklund can literally go onto his account, take photos and say, hey, everybody, look, I'm cool. Like, everything's good. I appreciate all the well wishes, but I'm all good. But the bad part, and it's why did he post all of that? Because when people saw it, they started having wild speculations of, oh my God, Eklund's no longer a Shark. He's fucked. But like people lost their minds. Really illustrated the whole, like the best and worst of social media over the course of like an hour and a half. in my estimation, anyway.
Gotcha. And then before we leave, we have to share this because AJ is enjoying the beer as well, having a good time with his buddy and Brett. And Logan Couture as brewmaster. We got a few minutes left. What did you think of it, bud?
Oh, it was so much fun. The only thing that bummed me out, well, I shouldn't say bummed me out. I should say the whole event, I was just kind of very much, I found out about it the day before, and I was like, oh my God, do I need to get there at like noon? Even though it starts at 4, like, is there going to be like a mad rush of people? And the only place I saw it even being discussed was on one of the Sharks fan Facebook pages. And I was like, well, it's posted there. And I don't see it on Reddit. I don't see it on some other channels. I wonder how many people are actually going to be there. And when I showed up, I actually pulled up at about 20 after 3 because I expected the traffic to be way worse than it actually was. I got there way early, and I was there in the parking lot for maybe 10 minutes, and then Logan showed up about 10 minutes after I did, and he walks by my car to go in, and so I saw him and I said, hey Logan, just I just want to know, I brought a couple things that I would love to get signed, but I understand if this is just like a like a photo and promotion thing. Are you even signing anything, or are you just like, no, I'm just here for like photos? And he was like, no, I'll sign whatever you want. What do you want? And so handed him a jersey and he signed it, and he could not be nicer. Could not be the nicest guy. It was amazing how like very much he was like, hey, anything you need. And
Cool.
that was fantastic. And then we get into the area to kind of like line up to go in because the place didn't open until 4, and we're all out there at like 20 till. And there was only like 10 of us lined up. Like, I was shocked at how few people there were. And I was thinking, wow, they really did a bad job at promoting this. Like, holy crap, did they really do a bad job of promoting this? And what I think illustrated that point was very early on, I took a photo of like, my 4-pack of the locos that we have here, along with the labels that he was signing, and I posted that at like Sharks Reddit, and I said, hey, Couture at Hoppa's, and a couple people said, oh, I really like that beer. I should go and get some of that. And then finally, after 20 minutes, somebody went, wait a minute, that little sign, is Logan there? And I'm like, yeah, he's here for until 8. And then all of a sudden, like 30 minutes later, a bunch of people in Shark stuff showed up. I'm not saying that my post had anything to do with it. I just thought it was funny to watch it. But the really fun thing about the entire event was the fact that early on, not a lot of people there because, hello, people work for a living. But I'll be the first to say that Logan, when it comes to fan fests and tank tailgates and all that type of stuff, I think Logan would even be the first to go, I fucking hate these things. Like, he kind of seemed miserable at those types of events. This thing at Hoppa's, it was the coolest thing he had done that week. Like, he was in such a good mood. He was in such a high spirit. There was, a few of us that were like, okay, if somebody asked him to take a photo, is he going to be uncomfortable getting out of the chair? Dude, he was bouncing out of it like he had springs in his shoes. Like, he was so like, I think you could look at him and go, he's maybe in a little discomfort, but he just seemed so just incredibly
At the like the
just
pain
so
that was
happy.
on there came off of it when he announced that he wasn't playing hockey
I
anymore.
think so. He was just so happy that people showed up to say hi, to take photos, to get things signed. Like, he just seemed really happy, and that, it warmed the heart, because I feel bad. You don't ever see a guy go out in his career like that.
Right.
So
of
to
course.
see the fact that he seems to have reconciled what has happened and be okay with it. And his wife and kids were there for a little bit. And it was so cool to see them. But the really fun part was to go up and ask him, it early on the Toronto Ottawa game was happening. And so I kind of slide up next to him and I go, all right, buddy, who are you rooting for? And he goes, well, yes, I got to go on Ottawa on this one. And I'm like, yeah, no, I feel it. And he's, underdog guy. And I go, well, what about LA Edmonton? How are you feeling about that? And he goes, I'd root for Edmonton if it wasn't for one of the players on the team.
Oh, geez.
And I went, wonder who that is. Anyway,
Jake Wallman. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Anywho, let's.
Yeah, and I go, well, how you feeling about Vegas and Minnesota? And he goes, no matter what, I'm always going to root for Tommy. I'm always a Hurdle guy. And I was just like, see, and I love hearing shit like that. But the other thing that I asked him about, and I'm not here to stir the pot. I'm not here to, shovel shit. I'm just literally passing on what happened. But I asked him a couple weeks ago, you had your announcement that you were stepping away from hockey. And during that announcement, there were some fantastic videos that came in from DeBoer and T-Mac and Doug Wilson and, a lot of people that he had played with. And I asked Couture, I said, we're some Sharks fans, and we were at Thornton's retirement ceremony at SAP, which of course Couture was literally sitting at. And we were kind of like, it seems kind of interesting that, we're kind of wondering, Couture, why is it that you had a video from Wilson and T-Mac, whereas Jumbo pretty much, they were like completely omitted from Jumbo's career? And Couture just goes, yeah, Jumbo didn't want them involved.
Damn.
And I didn't, I didn't sit there and try to like press the button harder and go, oh, why is that? I was just kind of like, all right, but let's be honest, we're deep fans. And so it was kind of like, did that have to do with, could Thornton got the C taken away from him? And I said, there was somebody, I think it was John Scott podcast, goes, we voted. They took the C away from Thornton, but we all voted on who should have the C, and the majority voted for Thornton. They still gave it to Pavelski. And I told that to Couture, and Couture goes, what fucking vote was that? He's like, I didn't vote on any of that. He's like, there was no vote. And I was like, okay, I look forward to your next appearance on the John Scott podcast.
Yes.
So
Indeed.
Either way, it was very fun. It was
Good.
interesting, but I love the fact that Logan Couture does seem comfortable in what has to be it's somebody who loves the game as much as him. He seems to be resigned to the fact of what has happened, and he's okay with it. But you can tell, like, he's going to watch that game on TV for the next couple of years, and he's definitely going to be rooting for guys because he played with them. He's going to be looking into it. He's going to still want to be there, but I feel like all that, the 18 months it's been since he played, I think that might have been a benefit for him, that he was able to kind of come to terms with not being able to play anymore. But
Fair. And
God
be tough.
damn it. Was there a guy for the Sharks that, loved playing in the playoffs more than him?
Maybe Pavs, but
yeah,
that's a debate.
Maybe.
That's a debate for the summer's time. So
yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here in case anything You can hit us up at tealtownusa.com, where you can find us wherever you can get your podcast. The audio version will be up shortly. You can also hit that like button on the way out the door. I see a bunch of you here. Let's hit that like button. It really does help us out, and it's free, so we appreciate that as well. We'll be back on tomorrow, Monday, if you're hearing this after midnight, 4 p.m. for the Draft Lottery live reaction show. Me and Jules and Ian will be on it to take you through the excitement. So,
can I be on?
No,
I forgot the draft pick this tomorrow. Okay. F you. I'm gonna get off my own YouTube channel and do my own thing. I forgot that's tomorrow. What time is that?
4
p.m.
Our time?
Our time.
Ooh, okay. I want to get on there.
So,
I'm just saying, one of the reasons I'm excited is because Brody has recorded himself as being like, he's like, I got this interesting itch up my backside. Like, I feel that they're gonna get it. They're gonna get. And then I heard something else where Ruzanowski is like, hey, Sharks fans, the last time a team got, the number 1 pick twice in a row has never happened. So good luck.
all right.
I can't wait for that.
It'll be fun.
And then I have this cutie with a package. It's a cutie hanging out with a little card package for our buddy here.
Nice.
Solid.
Right?
All right.
So how was Friday night, babe?
It was great. It was
Good night.
awesome. This is an off-air story.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right.
So until then,
Wrap
keep
it up,
real.
Packers. Let's go.
Keep it
But
real.
stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll have me, AJ, Puckguy, Ian, the whole crew on, apparently.
Until
me and
then,
Puckguy will be together.
Yes.
Not like that came
Not
out
like
wrong.
that, but
He's my father,
Oh,
basically.
God.
He's my
Phrasing.
father.
Until then,
Okay.
keep it real. Keep it Teal. Keep it real, Teal. Have a good night, and may the 4th with you.